Most people think financial collapse is something dramatic, something that happens suddenly after a bad investment or a major life mistake, but for millions of Americans, collapse is much closer than anyone wants to admit. It is not dramatic, it is quiet. It is one unexpected bill, one phone call, one emergency away across the country. Families wake up every morning doing everything they were told to do. They work full-time, they budget carefully, they try to save when they can, and still the margin between stability and disaster is painfully thin for many households. There is no real safety net, no cushion, no backup plan, just hope that nothing goes wrong. An emergency does not have to be life-changing to be financially devastating. A car breaking down on the way to work, a sudden medical issue, a trip to the emergency room, a leaking roof, a broken appliance, even a missed week of work can trigger a chain reaction. Bills pile up, credit cards fill quickly, and stress takes over. Savings accounts that were meant for security are often empty or barely funded. Years of rising rent, grocery prices, healthcare costs, and insurance premiums have slowly drained people's ability to build real emergency funds. Many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, not because they are irresponsible, but because costs have outpaced income for too long. The fear is constant, even if unspoken. People drive carefully, not just for safety, but to avoid repair costs. They hesitate before scheduling doctor appointments. They postpone dental care, ignore warning signs, and stretch medications to last longer. They are not managing health, they are managing risk. Credit cards have become the silent emergency fund of the nation. When something unexpected happens, people swipe and promise themselves they will pay it off later, but later rarely comes. Interest grows, balances expand, and what started as a temporary solution becomes long-term debt. Housing alone consumes a huge portion of income. Renters face annual increases that outpace salary growth. Homeowners struggle with property taxes, insurance, maintenance, and mortgage payments. One unexpected expense can threaten the roof over their heads. Eviction and foreclosure are no longer rare stories, they are realities for many. Healthcare remains one of the biggest financial threats. Even insured Americans face high deductibles, surprise bills, and limited coverage. One hospital visit can cost thousands, and long-term treatment can erase years of savings. Medical debt follows families for years, damaging credit and limiting future opportunities. Parents carry an extra layer of fear. Children need food, clothing, school supplies, medical care, and stability. When finances are fragile, every expense feels heavier. The stress of not knowing whether you can provide creates emotional pressure that never fully fades. Young adults are starting their lives already burdened by student loans, rising housing costs, and unstable job markets. Building savings feels impossible when most income goes toward survival. Many delay marriage, home ownership, and starting families, not because they lack desire, but because they lack security. Older workers face a different anxiety. Retirement savings are often insufficient, and healthcare costs in later years are unpredictable. One emergency can wipe out what little has been saved, forcing people to work longer than planned or depend on family support. The emotional toll of living one emergency away from collapse is profound. Constant stress affects sleep, relationships, productivity, and mental health. People appear calm on the outside, but inside they are calculating, worrying, and preparing for the worst. This fragility changes behavior across society. People avoid risks, not entrepreneurial risks, but life risks. They do not move cities, switch jobs, or pursue dreams because instability feels too dangerous. The margin for error is too small. The most troubling part of this reality is how common it has become. It is no longer surprising to hear that someone has no savings or that an unexpected expense caused serious hardship. It has become normal, and that normalization hides the urgency of the problem. Financial collapse is not always dramatic bankruptcy, filings, or public failure. Sometimes it looks like quietly falling behind, missing payments, accumulating late fees, and living in constant anxiety. It looks like sacrificing health, happiness, and rest just to keep everything from falling apart. Americans are one emergency away, not because they failed, but because the cost of basic living has steadily climbed, while wages have struggled to keep pace. The gap between income and stability has widened, and that gap is where fear lives. Until that gap is addressed, millions will continue to wake up each day hoping nothing unexpected happens, hoping the car starts, hoping no illness strikes, hoping no surprise bill arrives. Because in today's reality, stability is fragile, and one emergency can change everything.